What up, guys? Welcome to my second Brooklyn apartment. I just wanted to do a video this morning before I go to work, just highlighting a few things and, just giving you guys a grand tour. This is where I game, do my things, do my creative stuff. Now that it's summer, uh, bugs, I gotta spray around and hopefully no bugs come in my room. I really don't want that happening. But, we got bottles, Instagram purchases. This little guy is a little souvenir. This is the Gundam RX-78. Building Gundam model kits. This is my coffee cup. I think this was a pretty neat purchase. Donald Duck is a kind of a favorite character of mine, so I was like, you know what, you gotta wake up smiling. This room does come with an air conditioning unit, which is nice. Just set the cool, whatever degrees I want, and just keep the fan a constant and stuff. This room does come with 2 windows, which is nice, and a lot of sunlight comes into the room, so the light isn't even on. And it does work. So, but it's morning time. It's pretty bright in the room, and the curtains are kind of like doing a really good job balancing the light in the room. So, but obviously, when it comes to the curtains, I have my standard place to hang like very wet clothing. So, considering the benefits of sunlight, I can put wet clothing like this, leave it on these tension rods, and let it dry. And then, of course, I close the curtain like so, and let the clothes dry here. But then I would take the clothes and I would put it over here, and afterwards, after this piles up, I'll wash everything all at once. I kept this mirror here because it seems like a convenient location for it. Now we got a queen size bed. Since we have room, we might as well just go a little bigger. But yeah, basically the room is kind of simple. It's actually bigger than my last Brooklyn apartment. But aside from the windows, the air conditioning, the area in the middle here, it's just one pretty big box, and it comes with a really huge closet and another closet that's not really a closet. Let me just show you this first before we go into my closet. This is not actually part of my room technically, but it's still in my room. And this is how we get our hot water. I do use the door for holding additional pants and clothing, like hoodie here and stuff like that. So that's pretty neat. But in any case, let's go to my closet. So, it's kind of a nice closet actually. It's very big, wide, and open, and I have a lot of like these bins. If you remember from my last apartment, the shelvings, I had the square shelvings. I just took these over, and I left the shelvings back at the old apartment for them to use, because it was like, I didn't spend a lot of money to transfer a lot of my stuff, so I carried everything one by one, and that's why I only have these instead of the actual shelvings. But this closet does a very nice job of holding all my stuff. So that's my room, but this is now, once we get out of it, this is the kitchen, and this is basically where all the magic happens. This is the washer and dryer. It's located over here. It's kind of a, usually you have a room, but how, again, New York City departments, you kind of put things where they need to be, and it just, you sort of make it work somehow. I'm sure that you've been exposed to how to do this. I mean, you kind of just shove the clothes in here into the, this is a European brand, I think. I'm not too sure. Maybe not. Maybe, I mean, European brands of washing and drying machines in the household seems to be a pretty popular thing to do these days. I remember in my Astoria apartment, we had a washer dryer unit that was totally combined. Like, it wasn't this as a washer and then that as a dryer. It was all in one unit. and I was confused as hell on how to use it. So I just never bothered. So I just went outside and did my laundry there. Okay, so we're gonna just start it. And in here, we're just gonna pour 1 cup. We don't really have that much clothes we're washing. You see the water running on that side, so I'm just gonna dump it in there. All right, and we're gonna close that up. Close that up, and yeah, it'll start. All right, so yeah, that's gonna take about an hour. I want to cook something for this video, so maybe I can make some refried beans. This is the beans that I use in order to create the refried beans. It's black soybeans. And the reason why I use this brand is because of the net carb situation. The total carbohydrates is 8 grams, but the dietary fiber is 7 grams. So that equals to 1 net carb. And if you multiply that by 3.5, this whole can is going to be 3.5 net carbs. We're going to use this Tupperware. We're going to use this pot to create our refried beans using the black soybeans. First thing, of course, we want to do is going to open it. And let's see here. Okay, that wasn't difficult. In order to open up the can, of course, I'm probably sure you have a can opener. This is mine. I bought it from, I think, the dollar store, maybe. Or if not, then I got ripped off. Usually people, what they do is they wash the beans in like a net. Like they would use a net, they would pour the beans, and they would wash it. But we're not going to do that. We're actually going to use the content within the can and create the beans. It's much more flavorful that way. Not many people know that, apparently. I'm not too sure what the situation is. I added a little bit of water just so that it's a little bit more spread out. And we're going to microwave it. So I microwave it for about maybe 2 minutes. It should be enough to like make it a little bit more soft so we can crush the beans. Where's my bean crusher? Yeah. I use this bean crusher. It's kind of a 2-in-1. So you got the crusher in the bottom, and then you can like press on it like that. Okay. All right. So now that the beans have been warmed up a little bit from the microwave, what we're gonna do now is crush the beans and make it like these like itty bitty pieces. So we're just gonna continue doing this forever. Yeah. I'm doing it in slow-mo so that you can see what the action looks like. Slow. Yeah. So yeah, as I said, this is going to take a little bit of time. I mean, there are alternative ways of doing this. You can use a blender. You can... Yeah, I think that's the only other way. I'm sure there's like spinny, like machines. I don't know what you call them. I like to just crush the beans like so. Gives me a workout. Maybe. Okay, so for like a good, like maybe, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes I've been doing this. Literally this. And then I just kind of switch the bowl like this, and then I just do that. And then I like twist it around, do all this twirly stuff, and then just do that. Get rid of all the stuff, and that's it. We're done with this tool. So what I do now is just kind of rinse it out, wash it, just to get a head start on fully washing it later with soap. Okay, so now we have our crushed beans. This is where we sort of add a few ingredients before we put it into the pot, and let's get those ingredients. First and foremost, what you want to do is grab vegetable oil, or you can kind of utilize whatever oil that you prefer. I'm using, what is this again? Extra virgin olive oil, and I only use a little bit. I don't want to just oversaturate everything, just maybe a capful. So the next few things we're gonna add are the spices. We've got garlic powder, we've got chicken powder, we've got onion powder, we've got some salt, we've got some turmeric powder, chili powder, and we have, I don't know how to pronounce this, Xanax gum. Hopefully we're not missing any ingredients. We're going to use an actual measuring tool to make sure we put in the right amount. We want 1 teaspoon or half a teaspoon of certain stuff. Chili powder I just kind of dab in. You know, it's got the little star-shaped thing, so I just sort of dab in a little bit, and we're good. For turmeric powder, it's got the star situation, so again, same situation, just going to dab in a few. I don't add too much turmeric powder, to be honest with you. Onion powder is what I actually add about maybe a teaspoon of. So a handful of teaspoon, you know, just dab it in there. Garlic powder, we go a handful, like not even just a teaspoon. We kind of like go a little bit generous than a teaspoon of garlic powder. Actually, you know what? We're going to go a teaspoon of it, just to keep things under control. This is chicken powder. We're actually running out low on it. Just add a teaspoon of chicken powder in there, you know, just to get that in there. I am using all natural sea salt. Same situation. It's got the dab situation, so I'm gonna go to the dab mode, and we're gonna just add in just a teensy weensy bit, if I can get it out there. And of course, the last thing we're going to add is the
xanthan.
Yeah, that word. And we're gonna only add in half a tea. So this is what a half teaspoon looks like of. Actually, you know what? We're gonna add in a fourth of a teaspoon of that much. Now that we have all our ingredients in here, we're now going to mix it with a spoon. You know, just grab whatever, and now we just kind of sort of mix that in together. So we're not going to be spinning this for 5 minutes. It's just a little twist for maybe like 10 to 30 seconds ish. Okay, so now that we have a pot, we've got all our ingredients mixed out for our refried beans. We're gonna turn on the oven. We're gonna set it to maybe 4. This is an electric oven or something. Like, it doesn't have the boiling system, so it's kind of neat. I could already feel the heat, and it's not really that bad. So we're gonna just dump the refried beans in here. Our hard work, all in there. As you can see, we have a lot of residue in this, so we're just gonna get a little bit of water, and we're just gonna mix that up, and we're gonna add it in there a little bit. Maybe that was too little, too much. So just gonna spin that a little bit. All right, now we just gotta heat it up. Actually, we're gonna turn this up to high, just so we can get this done quicker. Our washing machine is going haywire over there. While this heats up, we're gonna get our other ingredients. So in order to get to that like sort of refried bean look, we need to add in flour. So we're gonna add in almond flour and coconut flour. Both of these are gonna be 1/4 of a cup each, and that will equal to a half of flour. Not only we're gonna add the flour, we're going to add in a few other ingredients as well. So we're going to add in some mild salsa. This is Wegmans mild salsa. Every 2 tablespoons is 3 grams of carbs and 1 dietary fiber, so 2 net carbs per 2 tablespoons. Got that. We're going to add in some vegan cheese. Let's see here. 1 slice is 4 grams of carbs. We could add tomato. We'll add in some tomato pieces. Ugh. You can get it. Okay. I have a few other sauces that I use aside from the mild salsa. Got some brio and sugar-free barbecue sauce. This is for every 2 tablespoons. It's 2 grams of carbs.
Rio sauce. This is the sensitive marinara sauce. It's only 3 grams of carbs for every half cup, which is extremely nice. This is kind of a good time to add stuff, I think, maybe. I can see it spewing out, so we're gonna get cover. Okay. Got a cover. So in the meantime, while this does its thing, we're gonna cut up some tomatoes. Let's see here. So it's very simple to cut tomatoes. Wow, these are big. Yeah, we'll just take 2 slices. Actually, you know what? We'll use all the slices. It's not like we're gonna make sandwiches, so might as well just use them all. Actually, we're gonna make pizza. Actually, no. I really don't know how to like explain how to cut tomatoes. You kind of just let it happen. If you have difficulty, I'd suggest asking a cooking master of your household, or watch a YouTube video on how to cut tomatoes. I only cut the tomatoes in the manner that I know how. I mean, it might not be the most professional, but it gets the job done. You see that they're like little squares, like so. Yeah, so I just cut them up into little itty bitty pieces, like so. I don't believe adding this much tomatoes will oversaturate the beans, but at the same time, it might. So then again, everything you do in the kitchen is an experiment, and if you find something that works for you, all best, all you, man, like all you. So yeah, this is all the tomatoes that will be going into the pot. Might as well just put them in right now. So, oof. All right. Oh, that's hot. Okay, maybe I need a bigger spoon. So now we got a bigger spoon. That feels much better. Based on what I can see, it's looking like refried beans, but we might need to turn down the temperature on the oven just a little bit. Maybe half. I set it on high just to get things done quick. Maybe it might have overcooked the bottom of the pot a little bit. I can feel a little bit of resistance on the bottom, so I'm trying to like sort of get that out. But in any case, let's add in the tomatoes, and the way we're gonna do that is just kind of just shove it in there. Just put it in. So we're mixing the the tomatoes and the refried beans, and it looks like that. I don't think it's overpowering. I think it's a kind of a good amount of tomatoes and beans together. So I think I'm good. But as I said, we need to combine a few more ingredients, and I start with mild salsa. Just unmeasurable how much, but I just kind of a handful. Add a little bit of barbecue sauce in there. 1 plop, 2 plop, okay, 3 plops. So we got 1 big plop of salsa, 3 little plops of sugar-free barbecue sauce, maple brown, flavored by Mr. G. Hughes. And for Rio sauce, I'd like to actually measure out how much. So I get a spoon, and I kind of like let it fill up the big spoon, and I kind of just dump it in there, and we're good. Now that we have our sauces, we kind of mix it in. We now need to add the almond flour and the coconut flour. And like I said, the amount we're going to add in is only 1/4 of it. I believe that's 1/4. I mean, it looks 1/4. I mean, that's 1/3, and this is bigger, so yeah, this has got to be 1/4. So we're going to go into almond flour. Just get a 1/4 of it. Okay, so that's what a 1/4 of almond flour looks like. We're going to just dump that in there. And we're going to get a 1/4 of coconut flour. All right, and we're going to just dump that in there. So now we just kind of mix it up. and you're gonna get the final result of what the refried beans are gonna look like after you're finished mixing this up. Alright, so the last ingredient we're gonna add is the daiya cheese. Oh boy, look at it. It's just pulsing to get done and eaten. But yeah, sorry for the distraction. We're gonna take 3 slices of cheddar style daiya cheese. This is vegan, lactose free. Is it lactose free? Well, yeah, it's vegan. We're gonna bury the cheese into the beans so that it melts faster. Vegan cheese, especially for daiya, it needs to melt in a certain way in order to actually get the fulfillment of the taste of cheese in there. And once you get there, it'll be soft enough to break apart, and it'll start, tasting like cheese and all that stuff. And it'll be delicious, and you'll be addicted, and you'll never go. Well, for me, I can't return to regular cheese because of my allergies. But once the cheese melts, the refried beans is pretty much ready to eat. Okay, so it's been a few minutes, but I noticed that it was still kind of liquidy. So what I did was I added a little bit more coconut flour, a little bit more almond flour into the pot, and now we're getting that whole sort of refried bean sort of texture and aesthetic of the food that we want to eat out there. So yeah, this is pretty much done. Just give it one last spin here, and that's it. That's how you make refried beans. And with this, you can put it into your burrito. Get some chips. Well, that's not keto, but get some keto chips. Dump it like that, and then eat it. Considering that it's hot right now, I'm not going to make burritos or tacos right now. I'm going to let it cool down a little bit, put it to the side, like so, and just let it cool a little bit. And we'll come back. I'm going to come back later in the day and apply it and essentially eat it. But right now, we're going to do a taste test with the refried beans we just created. As you can see, it looks just like so. And I think it came out pretty well. Yeah. Okay, so it's been a while. This has kind of cooled down a little bit, and we'll just leave that out there like that. And our clothes are in the dryer now, so there's that. That's going to be going on for another hour. But let's make these burritos. It's pretty basic what I do with these burritos. Since we combined a bunch of things with the refried beans itself, it eliminates a lot of the ingredients. So the only ingredients I need now are let's see, mushrooms, no. So lettuce is a really good ingredient. Yeah, we can add in some sour cream. And I think the last ingredient we're gonna need is to decide between 2 wraps. And either we use the carrot wraps or the tomato wraps. There's a lot of tomatoes in our ingredients already, but maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll do one of each, or all of them. Since we're making a lot of burritos, we might as well use our pizza pan to just make all of our burritos here. Let's start off with a carrot wrap. Here, if I can get this open. So we're gonna use a spoon. Use a big spoon. We're gonna mix our refried beans just a little bit. As you can see, it's fully done. It's got that thick texture to it. It's a little hot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab 3 spoonfuls. So that's 1, and then we're gonna get another 2, and we're gonna get 3. So we're gonna get another spoon for the sour cream. I'm glad that Tofutti makes their own sour cream now that I can indulge in a very, very important ingredient when it comes to burritos. And I just kind of layer out like so, just like that. It's a bit of a mess inside, but no worries. It's all going to the same place anyway. And the last ingredient we're going to add is lettuce. And just layer it out just like so. Actually, we'll put it on this side. And the final thing we need to do is wrap it up. So we're going to bend it from the bottom. We're going to take this side and flip it. And then we're going to take this side and flip it until it's closed. What I like to do is like maybe take a little bit of, I'm eating this whole thing so I can cross-contaminate with my hands. It doesn't matter. It's all going to the same place. I like to just do that to it. Just like have it like, it's like kind of like a glue-ish kind of thing to it. You know, just to close off, and you see it holds pretty well. Voila. And you got yourself a burrito. We just jump cut it a little bit. We got 3 burritos all set up. They're all the carrot wraps. I put away the the tomato wrap for later because we've got a bunch of leftovers. So we're gonna make some tomato wrapped burritos on a later day. But right now we're gonna indulge into the 3 carrot wrap burritos and see how they taste. All right, here we go. Oh. I'm gonna eat this all day. Thanks for watching, guys.